to another 15 minutes of fame. Andy Jensen on the other side of me right here. And Andy is the owner of Bonfire Brewery. He is also the founder creator of Bonfire Block Party in Eagle, Colorado, about a 5,000 person event concert, 3 days. Yes. It's such a good concert. Sometimes I'm not sure how many days I was there. uh, Andy has dealt with the curveball of coronavirus, living in a mountain community, also being, like I just said, a concert producer along with his team, and then also owning a brewery and being a local business in Eagle and just feeling it from like every friggin' side. It's like, wow, talk about getting in a fist fight with Mike Tyson and just not really being bigger than you are already right now. So, Andy, tell us who you are and what you own, what you do, where you've been, how things are.
Andy Jessen of Bonfire Brewing and Bonfire Block Party, along with my wife Amanda and our team of 17 full-time employees here in Eagle, Colorado. We've been around since the winter of 2010, so we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary and the 8th anniversary of the Block Party.
That's you can say you're local. You can start putting the stickers on your Subaru and your Black Lab. You can name him Wolf. So you're a local. You're embedded in the businesses. You've got the brewery, which is its own beast. You've got the event that essentially grows into being its own beast. And I mean, last year we had 5,000 people there.
Yeah, 5,000 on Friday and 6,000 on Saturday.
It was packed. Town was packed, and it was awesome. And this is definitely one of those concerts right now that is just so locally charged and people supporting it. And so you originally want to have the Bonfire Block Party in June. And voila, here comes Corona. And when are you having it now?
We just recently announced postponement of the dates to August 28th and through the 30th, the last weekend in August. And we started thinking about that, honestly, towards the end of February, once the first cases started showing up in the United States. Amanda's a former public health professional, so she got worried about this a lot sooner than the rest of the team did. And then when it really started to hit and we started to hear the word social distancing, that's when we just kind of put everything on pause, not knowing how long it would take for things to shake out. And once it looked like it wasn't going to be possible to have that many people, that the number of people we need to have in one place for an event of that scale to work financially, not to mention, ticket sales just stopped dead.
Yeah, like literally overnight. Yep.
Not a single one from the day the social distancing guidelines got announced until very recently. So that's just as much as anything, because you got to have ticket sales to pay the bands. So it just put everything into flux, and we had also given up a lot of planning time by pressing pause and stopping our meetings and whatnot. So we frankly needed that time to get back into gear, get ticket sales ramped back up, plus hope that we'll be allowed by the local government to host an event of that size by the end of the summer.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's such a like, even right now, I mean, you're like, cool, I'm functionally waking up in the morning. I'm trying to do my best to move a concert from June to August. It gives you purpose. You're like, cool, I got 88 emails to do this morning, right? Like, I got to really reach out. You have the brewery as well, which was long before the concert. How are things down there?
That was probably the hardest thing to kind of stabilize and make sure that we were going to still be here, because without Bonfire Brewing, it's kind of hard to have a Bonfire Block Party. And so the first 2 weeks was just, like you said, a fist fight, getting knocked down by these different paradigms that were announced each day. Within the span of a week, we went from, well, how can we keep people 6 feet apart inside this small brewery? Can we still have bands? Where do the tables go? What new precautions do we need to install? To, well, how can we sell anything at all? And what do we do with all these bartenders that, were full-time employees making an honest living, now have nothing to do? And so everything was changing daily, and we were updating policies all the time and trying to communicate with our customers. Fortunately, with the team we had, we were able to stay maybe like a quarter to a half step of ahead of everything. Because of Amanda's expertise in graphic design and website building and whatnot, we got a delivery and online order system up overnight.
Wow,
Uh, and,
that's a
and
big
that,
deal.
yeah, that kept revenue, is still about 75% less than what we're used to, but it keeps a few people going. And then, being a trustee on the town board, I was listening in on the public health calls with the county and the state about, what's coming next, how are things looking. And so it helped us to stay a little bit ahead of the game. And we've also been fortunate that, with liquor stores staying open, we have a revenue stream with packaged beer. And about, I don't know, the middle of February, when we started talking about this, we shifted from, normally we'll package about half of a batch of beer and put the rest in kegs. We stopped putting anything in kegs. We started putting it all in cans and bottles. And that proved to be a good move, because then we had the inventory, because liquor stores were really, really busy right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we would have got run out of product if we hadn't have shifted. And now, of course, everything's in cans, and that's all we're selling. And again, thankful to have a revenue stream of anything, any sort. We still had to lay off about 40% of our staff. And the margins on packaged product are just not nearly as good as kegs, and even worse than, what you get at the tap room with a pint across the bar. And so with that being completely eliminated, we've had to really tighten everything up.
So honestly, I was going to say Andy Jensen for president, because here's the thing is you're rolling with the punches. This is why you throw a concert. This is why you're a successful concert thrower, because curveballs show up all the time. This has got to be the biggest curveball for a guy like yourself. Not only are you trying to throw a concert, right? But you run a restaurant, a brewery, right? And those have been shut down too. And it's like those things are running on pretty small margins. Concerts aren't like you're just banking all day long. I mean, sure, you make a nice little, you can, get the seeds for next year's garden. uh, the idea is that you've had all, what do you say to somebody who throws a concert right now, other than logistically, like reach out to everybody and get with, are there other concert promoters out there that you called and you were like, yo, I'm going to relocate to August? What are you guys doing? I mean, how did you do this?
Yeah, we leaned on Ted Wenninger from Optimum Events,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm.
he's got connections all over the country, all over the world in terms of large scale event production. And everybody was sort of saying the same thing. We don't know,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know what's going to be like tomorrow, much less the next week, much less a month, much less 90 days. And, you know, there's a fair amount of risk in postponing versus canceling. So that was a lot of the discussion that he was having with other concert promoters. And moving the bands has been relatively straightforward, because in our window, at least, there's not a ton of people looking to move it. I still think we don't know, if August is going to be okay. I don't
Sure.
think anybody knows. You feel for everybody involved. It's not just the bands, and they're the highest dollar amount, but the stage production companies, the food trucks, the hundreds of bartenders that Optimum pulls out from across the country, and roll into Eagle and make a bunch of good tips over a weekend. It cascades and ripples and echoes across a lot of different industries, with this basically the entire tour industry, festival industry going quiet for a summer. I don't know what it looks like on the other side of it. I don't know if large scale events still work ever again. How comfortable do you feel cramming in with 50,000 people at a
I
massive weekend festival?
I don't think we have enough time to answer that question because there's so much unknown,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, who do we believe and what do we really know? Okay. Numbers are relative to what truths are being told. Um, Science is by far the best way to adapt any sort of forward movement. So when we come out of this in May, is that supposed to be like our hypothesis? Do we I've talked to restaurant owners already. They're like, how do we adapt? Do we still convene at the bar? Do we still are we delivering more so? Are we adapting a new menu so that we can? Things like this, of course. Um I think after we realize this next couple 2-3 weeks that we got to go through, that I honestly think you and I are in the industry of people that can get stuff done. We're in a place where people can get mad enough where they want to get. I mean, why do you throw an event? All it is like constant curveballs. It's like more responsibility. Like P Diddy, mo money, mo problems. But there's a luxury too in throwing an event because of all the human beings you get to be around. That's the beautiful part of it. That's like
Right.
the
The,
life part of it.
the reason you do it is to bring people together
Yeah,
and provide them with an experience that they can't get anywhere else. And I think that still has value. It just might
absolutely.
look different, you know?
I hope in a way. I had a conversation with the family on Zoom last night, and I was like trying to name some changes that we could like do to move forward, right? Like, I honestly would love to discuss all eventers, somebody even in your position, to start adapting no more single-use plastics, like on stages and things like this. Like, we can give everyone a nail gene and all this, and then they can keep it, and it's part of their like, event swag bag. But then I get some kickback, people saying, "Well, that's not sanitary." Like, oh
Mm-hmm.
God, the exposure of what this thing's doing to industry and to problems that can be solvable with movements of people doing things, the availability is there. It's the question of like, what are we going to do? Because large concerts are awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I get, like, that's what makes the small concerts even more fun, because you got to go to a 50,000 person concert. So then when you get to see like a, Grateful Dead doing a 10-person concert in a barn, you're like, dude, I saw the Dead in the barn, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. And
Andy,
I don't,
here's the thing. We have about 30 seconds to go, and I'm so
oh,
sorry. I
that's
know,
okay.
dude. It happens so fast. And if we need to do part two, we'll do a part two.
Sure.
Um, so right now, just for the end of this, why don't you give us what Bonfire Block Party's information is, what Bonfire Brewery information is, just so people can know where to go to get the info as life progresses, because you know about as much as anyone else does right now as far as if we can and how we will. Where do we go for the information? And we'll display all this info.
Cool. Bonfireblockparty.com, bonfirebrewing.com, and it's the same handle for both on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Tickets are on sale now for the block party, and right now it's looking good to move almost our entire lineup across, and we may even have opportunities to bring in bands that might not have been an option before because of how the industry has changed overnight. So there might be some great surprises ahead, and the brewery is still going strong. You can find us throughout the state in any major liquor store. And like I mentioned, locally, we're doing delivery, curbside pickup. We're about to launch valley-wide delivery this week as well. So don't even have to leave the house. Get your beer fixed. We'll bring it.
Okay. I feel like part two somehow just kind of boiled up there at the end. So maybe we'll see you down the line here answering questions of, hey, it's really happening. This is how we're doing it. The discoveries have been made. I want the next one. I want Bambi and roses and flowers and just earth shooting out of the background there. I want to see some cultivation from this, because I know that you've got the energy to get things done. And I'm excited. I'm glad that you were here on this podcast today. I really do appreciate it.
Right on. Thanks for the opportunity, Goldie.